Alright, this is Danhousen here, very nice or evil. You are watching Tru Heel Heat. Probably should have had MJF do this, but here we are.
Welcome to Tru Heel Heat, the place where we use insider terms because we think we know what the fuck we're talking about, even though we don't. My name's Maxwell Jacob Friedman, and I'm better than you, and you know it.
It is time to rumble. It is Royal Rumble weekend. It is Royal Rumble Saturday. Tonight is the big show, and we've had a crazy week in professional wrestling. Raw 30, AEW Dynamite with the Jay Briscoe Tribute, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Noah had their Bye Bye Muda show, and we have one of my favorites as our special guest for the first time, but it's still Return of the Mac. Let's get to Tru Heel Heat 210. Hello. It is me, your Tru Heel Phenom, SP3. We are live on the Tru Heel Heat YouTube and Facebook for Tru Heel Heat 210, old time rock and rumble, discussing the latest wrestling news, including the success of WWE Raw 30, Vince McMahon back at Titan Towers in the latest edition of the Hostile Takeover Mcsuccesion, recap of the weekend wrestling with Raw 30, AEW Dynamite, Rampage, SmackDown, NXT, New Japan, Pro Wrestling Noah, Impact, plus preview and predictions for tonight's WWE Royal Rumble 2023 show. And we have a very special guest with us. He is the head honcho of Inside the Ropes, the enthusiast, the number one enthusiast of Fuck, Marry, Kill. He is the Return of the Mac. It is Kenny Macintosh. What's going on, good brother?
I'm good. I've just been enjoying the ambience here on Tru Heel Heat. I've been enjoying I feel like it's WrestleMania, the amount of video packages we had there to get us to this point. I do apologize for the echoing sound in my room. I'm in the process of moving some stuff, so I just sound like I'm in an echo chamber. But yeah, I'm happy to be here. First of many times, I'm sure. You know,
I am sure. You are also, now an official member of the cookout.
Yeah, I'm there. But the last video we saw was basically the story of like you from puberty to now. Is that like we just kept seeing different parts of you? Like I was going to. That's how about 10 years ago. It's
5 years ago. 5 years ago. That was me getting hit with a chair 5 years ago, and that's how we started this YouTube channel. It's very appropriate how we start off the show.
I guess that's your equivalent of Tony Khan getting his reps in by booking his E-Fed, right? Back in the day.
Yes, that's exactly.
Remember that? Can you imagine if anybody else said that? It would be like, I used to actually play with my Hasbros, and it really got me ready for booking a show in TNT on Wednesday nights. But,
hey. I used to be in like chat rooms probably with Tony Khan back in like all those years back. Yeah.
Tony.
We also have with us the beautiful, the lovely Ms Krissi Luv. She's fashionably late. She's trying to outdo our special guest here.
I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. Sorry for my tardiness. Please forgive me. I am also a mother, and internet, all of the above.
Understand.
So yeah.
Understand.
How are you guys? Hello. How are
Hi,
you?
Krssi.
Hi,
Lovely to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. I hope all is well.
Thank you. I don't have kids, but I always think when people have kids, I think they should get more time. They should just have a little bit more. They've got stuff to contend with.
Yeah,
I've got a dog. It's not the same, but
yes, but no.
Yeah, I'm wondering where he's at. I usually would see him. We put him on the advertisement as well. We couldn't just put you. We had to put your son with you.
Well, the thing is, I try to normalize. You know how like parents always talk about their kids, which go ahead, go crazy. Yeah. My dog is my child, and I think it's just as important.
Yes.
And also, so I'm just normalizing that kind of behavior.
Absolutely. They're children just with 4 legs.
Exactly. It's not his fault I named him after Hulk Hogan. Do you know what I mean? He didn't ask for that away.
Yeah.
Did I ever tell you? Because when I got Hulk, and it's like I'm in the park, and I used to just say, they'd say, "Oh, why is he called Hulk?" And I'd say, "Oh, because my favorite wrestler when I was a kid was Hulk Hogan."
Oh, not the Incredible Hulk. Got it.
But then this one time somebody went, "Isn't Hulk Hogan a mad racist?" And I was like,
yeah.
And I'm not okay with that. And then I was like, but then I sound like I'm a mad racist. I was like, right, from now on, he's named after the Incredible Hulk. He's named after the Incredible Hulk. I'm never mentioning the shit stain that is Terry Bollea again. And
it's so bad because is our childhood won't let us like not forget it, but but the adult side of us say yes, you have to, because it's really, really like he really fucked that up. Excuse my French, sorry.
Well, the worst part is he was sorry he got caught.
That too. That's the part. That's the part that really messed it up. Like you weren't sorry that you said it. You're sorry because you got caught, and then now there's nothing.
See, we don't even call him Hulk Hogan here, Kenny.
Yeah.
We call him Terrence from Florida.
Yep.
That's his official name.
And I was so pissed when I see him on the Raw show. I was like, why do you open with him? Like, what? You don't need him anymore. Like, it's okay.
Who is more upset, Krssi Luv or the production team that gave him the faulty mic to kick off Raw 30? I was like, this is very appropriate. Hogan's going to start the show, and
poor
he has
Jimmy Hart.
messed up note.
Poor Jimmy Hart. Why do we have to have Jimmy Hart a part of this? Like, don't. And he's guilty by association, unfortunately.
And I hope,
right.
I hope, Kenny, you are prepared, because I am going to put you on the spot a little bit later to give us your fuck, marry, kill for myself and Ms Krissi Luv. So I'll give you some time to think about it.
I don't need time ever. I can.
Well, I'm gonna let out the pleasantries real quick. Of course, everyone, drop the thumbs up on the video, share it with your friends, subscribe if you are new to the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel. Of course, sound off in the live chat. We love interacting with our live audience here with us. Of course, if you're feeling generous, you want to give back to the contributors here on the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel, a super chat donation is the best way to have your comment highlighted on screen. But we will try to highlight as many comments as possible. We got Dolores here in the chat saying, "What's up, everyone?" CM is happy. We get fuck, marry, kill today. She's excited. She's here for it. Dolores reminding everybody to like and subscribe. And don't forget to join the Tru Heel Heat Patreon. Best money you will spend, $3 a month. Go over there. You can support us over there as well. Eddie James is here with us saying good morning. We got the Negro Buck who says, "What's up, everyone? Welcome to the show, Kenny. Big fan." So he's happy to see you.
That's very nice.
We got Santo who says, "What's up, THH fan? Happy Royal Rumble Day. I am so excited for tonight. My son will be watching his first ever Royal Rumble." Wow, nice. And he is wanting Cody to win so bad, same as me.
Santo, I don't know if it's a good idea. I mean,
yeah. I wish they would have kept the surprise. It kept it a surprise. Like all the promos, like how much promos you're gonna keep showing me of Cody? Like I get it. Like he's returning. Great. You don't have to show it to me every commercial break.
They literally showed it every week on Raw and SmackDown.
For like 3 weeks.
Raw and SmackDown. Not just one, not just the brand he's on, but we also got to get it on SmackDown as well. We got
giving me a fucking break already. Damn.
We apparently got Bray Wyatt in the chat. He says, "I'm really hoping we get a new Wyatt family tonight. The Wyatt 6 is here." We got Queen Moan who says, "Good morning." We got Anna Marie, who's here with us, saying good morning, you guys. Thank you for joining us, everyone. Remember to share it with your friends. Of course, we love to shout out everyone that supports us on Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel, as well as across the board on Patreon. Our top 3 conversation starters for the Tru Heel Heat Facebook page this week is actually coming in at number 3. Ms Krissi Luv is the Negro Buck Nick Jackson, who's usually our number 1. Yes, he's at number 3 this week.
Nick, you've been busy at work. What's happening? I don't understand this.
You've been
falling off a lot. Let's get it together, okay? Love you.
Stewie Palmer at number 2, and number 1, Alan Weinstein coming in at number 1 once again. We got our Patreon backers, Vala B, Alan, Negro Buck, Alex McCarthy, Professor Chris, Austin K, You My Boy Blue, Yachty, Robert, Steve, Antoine, 5th Generation Carney, Ladarius, John, Dan, Kobe, Queen Moan, Dolores, John, DJ Eric. Thank you so much for Monet.
Moan.
Money.
It is
money. Sorry.
Real quick, is your name is Return of the Mac? Is your theme song Return of the Mac? It is.
In my mind, that's what I want it to be. I don't think I can pull
okay.
it off,
I just wanted to, okay.
That's why you got Krssi. Krissi's gonna sing it for you.
I mean, we do 90s music, we do 90s sitcoms, we do everything here. Just letting you know. 90s
is my vibe. I'm 90s everything. TV, film, 90s all the way. Like
we need to just do a whole podcast just to that stuff. Like we don't. We do wrestling in the middle, but we just do it like the sitcoms. Okay.
Like I mean, in the 90s, they made a movie called Stop or My Mom Will Shoot with Sylvester Stallone and Sophia from the Golden Girls. What other decade would that get made?
Yeah, right.
The 90s had to be
right.
90s.
When I hear that title, I think of one of my favorite 90s films, Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's
Dead.
Oh,
that's
classic.
Christina Applegate.
Kelly Bundy.
Kelly Bundy.
As the lead.
And then I have like really strong emotions to like certain moments in 90s movies that I shouldn't. So like, for example, mac and cheese is my favorite food of all time, right? I don't care if it makes me a child. But when Kevin McAllister has set up the whole house, he doesn't take one bite of the mac and cheese. Are you kidding me?
No. But he makes it. Leave it on the table.
He sits there, piping hot.
You know how many kids wanted to eat that?
Yeah. You can't take 2 bites to fuel yourself in a war with these 2 guys.
Exactly. He had time. He was hiding out. He could have been like this while he's hiding and throwing, cans of paint at them and stuff. He could have been there. So my big question to Kenny, though, what is your favorite 90s sitcom?
Ooh.
Oh, that is tough.
There's a lot of them. Damn.
There's a lot.
Gets me.
One sitcom that I never got into when I was a kid, and then as an adult, I watched it and I just love is Frasier. I love Frasier.
Frasier's so good. That is a classic. I think it's better than Seinfeld, but that's just me.
Well, yeah. I don't know if this is controversial. I only watched Seinfeld for the first time last year, which is wild. I really liked it. I thought it was really good. I enjoyed that. Friends is the obvious one. But then, so in the UK, there used to be this channel called Trouble, right? And it was like a channel that used to show all 90s shows. So it would show like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And then there was one that I really liked because it was so shit. And it was, I'm going to get it wrong. It was an LL Cool J one, In the House.
Yes. I love that one.
In the House. Terrible. But
you just popped my UPN underplayed Negro's heart. Like that just hit me right in the heartstrings.
That was the first time I think I really saw that. Like, you remember he had like he would have the leg where it was like one leg he would have it rolled up, like his trousers rolled up, and the other he wouldn't. And I'd be like, can you imagine if I tried that? Fuck's sake! I mean, I would look.
In the House was unseen. Like, oh God, no one mentions In the House anymore. Really.
I love it.
That's an unseen. That's a really underrated show too. Then
remember when Carlton joined.
Then Carlton joined, and then Kim Wayne's joined too. They had the medical clinic. Yep. Great stuff, guys.
We got New York Undercover getting shout out in the chat.
New York Undercover was a great show.
Family Matters and Fresh Prince. Yeah, man. Negro Buck called it. We still need that Tru Heel Heat pop culture channel. It's coming, guys. Don't worry, it's coming soon. But let's get into the actual wrestling now.
No. Sorry. I told you we could sit here all day and do this,
Unfortunately, yes. We got to get to the wrestling, and we're gonna start with.
Don't let us start singing the theme songs now.
Oh, don't get me. I was about to do the in the house. Oh, I forgot how it went, but
I don't remember in the house one. He'll do smart guy for you though.
Oh yeah, that's my jam. Smart guy is my jam.
Not Teen Angel. You don't know
No.
that was. My God. Again, the 90s. It's just you can make stuff that you would never make any other time.
Yeah.
They don't make theme songs like they did in the 90s
Nope.
anymore. Like,
do you know one of my favorite? The last thing before I know you need to talk about wrestling, so I don't want to. But like, there's a couple of like songs of the 90s that just like they are in my heart. And
forever.
One of them is it Corona Rhythm is a Dancer? Oh my God. Like, have you ever heard that song? It's so good. It's like a dance song from the 90s. Rhythm is a Dancer. It is so good. Listen to it after you've finished this. It's like you can imagine people.
I think I might know it. Sing it.
No, I can. I say what I can do is
no problem. It's fine.
What I'll do is I'll bring it up on my YouTube just now and play you a tiny bit of it.
Okay, that's fair.
No. I'm a Rhythm of the Night, not Rhythm as a Dancer. Rhythm of
yeah. I
okay,
knew.
Now
and I love our producer in the background. Oh, there we go. And the rhythm of the night.
Top tier.
See, we gotta drown it out to avoid any copyright claims. So that was good. That was a good cue.
Yeah,
we worked hard on that.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Great job, guys.
I love our producer in the background sending us the link to it as well. So that's great stuff.
I thought you were gonna say rhythm is a dancer. Something.
That's a good one.
I always get the two of them mixed up. That is the other one.
I thought it was that one that you were thinking about.
But mixed up. Rhythm of the Night is the absolute jam.
I love it. I love how we just went off on a tangent. That was great. Let's get into the actual wrestling, what we missed this week. And we're going to start a little bit differently. We're going to start actually with Monday Night Raw this week because they celebrated their 30th anniversary and they did big numbers for this one. 2.344 million viewers, their highest viewership for the show since February 2020, so before the pandemic. And this show featured, in my opinion, one of the all-time great in-ring segments in WWE history as the Bloodline put Sami Zayn on tribal court with Paul Heyman playing the prosecution, giving us all the exhibits of Sami Zayn when he's disappointed the Bloodline or hesitated at different points, Sami being saddened and not even having a defense for himself, Roman feeling that was disrespectful and sending Solo Sikoa about to execute him with the Samoan spike before none other than Jey Uso, the man that has always been against Sami Zayn before Survivor Series, stepped up to provide the defense, showing time after time how Sami Zayn has taken bullets for the Bloodline. Sami getting all emotional and
teary-eyed. All he needed was one tear to come out, and that would have been golden. I'm telling you, it would have went over the top.
The red face was enough for me because it matched his beard. That was enough for me. And Roman Reigns finding Sami Zayn thanks to Jey Uso not guilty for now, as he will put Sami into a final test tonight at the Royal Rumble. But Sami Zayn had to not be seen until the Royal Rumble, which we will get to what happened last night on Friday Night SmackDown. But that led naturally into the Raw Tag Team title match where Jimmy Uso got injured and he was replaced by none other than Sami Uso, who joined with Jay, stepped up, and they retained the Raw Tag Team titles against the Judgment Day. This was just a fantastic first 45 minutes of Raw 30, thanks to the Bloodline. But we also, due to that going extremely long from what Fightful Select says, it caused the scheduled steel cage match between Becky Lynch and Bayley to be basically canceled, where Damage Control beat down Becky Lynch and apparently pissed off a lot of women's wrestling fans around the world.
Sure did.
The Undertaker also made his return as the American Badass for the first time since 2003 to pass the torch being named LA Knight to Bray Wyatt for his sister Abigail, and then he whispered sweet nothings into his WrestleMania 31 opponent's ear.
Sweet nothings?
Yes, sweet nothings. Wait do you see my dick? Wait do you see my dick? And we also had Brock Lesnar making his return to cost Bobby Lashley the no disqualification main event.
Y'all gonna stop treating Bobby Lashley like he ain't worth not a damn thing. Y'all gonna stop treating that man like that. 2 nights in a fucking row.
And cost him the United States Championship against Austin Theory. But Kenny, I gotta ask you, what was your thoughts on the Tribal Court? And I say it's an all-timer. I would put it in my top 10 in-ring segments in WWE history. Where do you think it ranks as far as how much you enjoyed it and how much this storyline has developed more and more over the last couple of months?
Well, first of all, I think at the end there, I think that Brock Lesnar's face was actually in response to Krissi's comments there. I think it looked like he was rubbing that in, like, do you know, like what I'm doing to Bobby Lashley? I'm just going to do it again.
Yeah.
That's a pointed smile. But no, I thought the Tribal Court segment was great. I was actually saying to my other half today that what really tickles me is that, because obviously this wasn't the plan. The plan was the acknowledgement ceremony that they were going to do. But I love that in 2023, the biggest storyline in pro wrestling was potentially changed because Rikishi couldn't make an appearance. Rikishi was the glue for this because he was supposed to be in this acknowledgement ceremony. He was ill, so they were like, "Okay, well, we can't do it now. We need to do something else." And
thank God they didn't do that. We didn't need him. No, we don't need. No, it's okay. We didn't need that. No,
we don't need Rikishi. But like,
we don't need Rikishi. Sorry.
If you didn't know that, like if you didn't read the internet, right, you didn't read wrestling news, you would not for a second think that Tribal Court segment was like a last minute thing. Right? Like that felt like it was like months in the planning.
Yeah.
And it was even Heyman. Like Heyman was so good, taking those ECW fans and just caressing them and crushing them in like 10 seconds. It was so good, and then like there was like so much nuance to it as well, like the whole idea of like Roman Reigns saying, because Sami says, Heyman, we've been through all this stuff, and you're not even gonna. No, sorry. Sami Zayn was saying, I can't believe you're saying this. We've been through all this stuff, and I thought we were friends. And then Roman, and then he says, I don't have a defense. I've decided I don't have a defense. And it was Roman kind of going, you don't even want to fight for us. You don't even want to fight for this family. That's so good. It's so good. This is better than the Young Bucks. But the storytelling, I love story in wrestling. It's so good. I thought the segment was classic, and I think that there's been like a swell this week where I feel like outside of like us who want Sami Zayn to win, obviously, like we really want Sami Zayn to win the world. I feel like it almost feels like it could happen. Like it feels like Sami Zayn has a chance to win the Royal Rumble, which 2 weeks ago I'd have been like, there's no chance. They're never going to do it. But now I feel like he might. And I tell you this, if they're to, I can't remember who it was from earlier, but the person who is their child's watching the first Royal Rumble, I apologize for missing their name, and they want Cody to win. If Cody is going to win, keep him as far away from Sami Zayn as is humanly possible.
Please, please, I beg of you.
You are risking everything. Like honestly, I think the only way they can get around this is if they have Roman and Kevin Owens main event, not the men's Royal Rumble. If the men's Royal Rumble main events, I think you're basically daring the fans to take over this whole thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think because I was listening to Meltzer this morning. And Garrett Gonzalez, who was doing a podcast with, brought up a really good point where he said, because, the idea is they could put the belt on Sami at WrestleMania potentially for like a couple of months if they wanted to like finish the story off. But then they've got the big Saudi show in May. And
he can't go.
He doesn't want to go. They don't want to have him. So
that too. That part.
Because Saudi Arabia are not very friendly to people who are not, Anyway, I'm not going to that.
Right, that's a whole nother rabbit hole. Like, it's okay, Kenny. I understand. Trust me.
But anyway, I actually looked into very briefly because Ollie, my friend, is like the biggest Shawn Michaels fan in the world. And when they announced that big like crown jewel tag match with the Undertaker and Kane against DX, I was like, we should go to that shit show. We should go. And we just like looked like a cursory glance at how you would go, and it's like it is not worth all that shit to go to Saudi Arabia. You can't even have a drink.
No. They won't let nothing.
I can't have a beer to watch, Kane's mask fall off.
But
yeah,
Watch Shawn Michaels ruin his perfect retirement. Yeah,
I know Shawn Michaels' little bald head. Yeah, I think the segment though was classic. I think Sami Zayn nailed it. I think it's a perfect storyline. It is, and you bring up it being a kind of one of your top 10, and Festival of Friendship, right, is one of people's major Raw segments. And I hope for this, and I think hopefully Vince doesn't get back into creative by this point. Hopefully this storyline does have an epic end, and it doesn't like fall off a cliff at the end like the Owens and
like
Jericho.
all of that for nothing.
Yeah. So I just want there to be a good ending to the story. That's all I want. So, and I feel myself. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like for me, I know when I'm really loving something where like my mind starts racing with possibilities of what could happen and like what the outcomes could be. I'm primed, and I just hope that we get something good tonight coming out of it. But I think we will.
I think we will. I think we will, because you could see that a lot of this is in the hands of, like, Triple H is a lot better than what Vince McMahon would probably do with this. And also you could see Paul Heyman's fingerprints all over this storyline as well. Yeah. He's involved in this, and Roman Reigns apparently is involved in the creative for this. So it's all paying off very well right now. But that was really the highlight of Raw 30, and really was the reason why a lot of people were raving about this show, besides the big numbers in the ratings. But of course, as Kenny kind of talked about, there is a dark cloud over WWE right now, and it is called the McMahon Succession, and we are going to talk about part 4 of the McMahon Succession.
You gotta just make a whole segment of this, just like when we did the Cody verse. You're gonna have to make this like the McMahon ultra Voltron.
It's the hostile takeover McSuccession.
Yeah, there you
week
go.
4. Here we go with week 4, as the PW Insider has reported that the WWE executive chairman of the board, Vince McMahon, was seen back at WWE HQ Titan Towers this week, and he's apparently back in his old office. While there were rumors of him being seen going back to his retirement in July 2022, this is the first confirmed sighting of McMahon at the location per PW Insider. The Wrestling Observer newsletter reports that McMahon has been working shorter hours since his return. When McMahon was the CEO, chairman, and head of creative, he would work at the office all night, sometimes into the early morning. However, his responsibilities have been reduced, and so he leaves at a normal time, quote unquote. Most of those long nights were due to long creative meetings, which he is no longer involved in. McMahon has not been back at any TV tapings or creative meetings since his return. Instead, he has been working on the possible sale of the company. Vince McMahon has reportedly also been hit by another lawsuit over his alleged payments to deal with claims of sexual harassment against him. On Wednesday, Bloomberg reports that another lawsuit was filed against the WWE executive chairman by Carol Castle and Crystal Laval, and the lawsuit itself has not been publicly released, but the suit is seeking to sever itself from the consolidated action taken against McMahon. There were 2 previous lawsuits filed against McMahon this month. The first was filed by Scott Fellows in Chancery Court of Delaware and alleges that McMahon violated WWE's charter and breached its fiduciary duty as controlling stockholder by forcing himself back into the board of directors. And the second was filed by the Detroit Police and Fire Retirement System, essentially arguing the same thing. And both of those suits seek to be recognized as class action suits and are seeking to block McMahon from his position. So, Krssi Luv, what do you think about another lawsuit against McMahon as he is back at WWE HQ? And where do you see this going as we go into week 5 next week? Do you think it's sooner rather than later, before WrestleMania, he gets back into creative?
Please don't do it. Please, I beg of anyone, any of the wrestling gods, please don't do this. We beg you for this right now. I am not surprised that more people are coming out. It's like the Trump, Harvey, Weinstein effect for you or whatever. Will he get in trouble? Who knows? I hope so, because he should. I'm sure more people will come out. But I hope that the people over in Connecticut can hear this and say, please don't let him get his fingers back on the stuff. If he want to do contracts, Can you do that? Like, do the money part. Fine, maybe. You shouldn't do anything.
People might get fired. You know how he works.
Fuck yeah. Don't. Okay. I take that away. Take away that statement. Like, stay home, retire, play with your grandkids. Like, be a babysitter. Let the parents go away. You go just watch the kids at home. Like, be like regular grandparents and retire. Like, stop. Go to the Bahamas. I don't know. Like, just, oh God, just go away. Just stay away, please.
Kenny, what have you thought about all this development as we've come into 2023 and Vince has slowly but surely taking more power back within WWE?
I like to think that as wrestling fans, well, this is how in my mind, I always try and go, I'm just going to separate the person from what I see on TV. Because otherwise, I can't enjoy anything, right? Like, I can't. We do the retro shows on our Patreon where we watch Raw and SmackDown from 20 years ago. We watch Chris Benoit every week, and I can watch Chris Benoit and watch his matches and enjoy them. I do like to put in he's a piece of shit fairly often to remind people that I'm not, pro him. But with Vince, it's awkward because Vince is, and a lot of people grew up with Vince as the announcer or the on-screen character, and they have a lot of goodwill towards him. But I think that you have to. I'm trying to not get in a soapbox here, right? But on the Inside the Ropes Facebook community the other week, somebody had put up a thing and said, how do you feel about WWE selling to the Saudis, right? This does come back to your question, by the way, SP3. I'm not just...
Yeah. No, I know.
But the... So everybody was answering, how would I feel if they sold to the Saudis, blah, blah, blah. And then this guy wrote, you're all pathetic if you wouldn't watch when the Saudis buy it because, you should. And... then he put underneath it, Vince McMahon is a legend, or is a living legend, and I just put under it, did all these like sexual misconduct allegations not change your mind on that, or is it not living legend with an asterisk or something?
Yeah,
it was just like Vince McMahon gave us WWE, so I don't care about the rest of that stuff, right? And I am someone who is very, very privileged. I'm white. I'm a man. I am like, if I wasn't gay, I'd be in the top tier of privilege. But but like, I've been around enough people of different people of different genders, people of different races or whatever, and like, I've seen how people react to stuff based on experiences they've had, and I feel like it's just really dangerous to normalize Vince McMahon. So I can watch all the stuff from the past. I can still enjoy it. I can laugh at Vince segments that have happened, but I just feel like current day, I now will never see him the same way as I did before. Like before, if I'd seen Vince McMahon at a hotel, I 100% went and got a photo with him because I want a photo with Vince. Now I wouldn't do it because I just feel like it's too much. Unless, of course, somehow I end up working there and I have to, in which case that's never happened. Delete this. But as long as I can have my ethics, I stand by it. So yeah, I just, as long as he's not on TV, I can sort of deal with it. If he's at work, and hopefully there's like stuff in place where women don't feel uncomfortable working there because he's back. I feel for them. And also he's terrible at booking wrestling shows now, so don't come back and do that, please.
He's like, that's the cherry on top of all of this. Like, and I think that's what a lot of people kind of are taking, focusing the most on is like the creative aspect of this, and they're not really acknowledging more the sexual misconduct, allegations of sexual harassment, lawsuits, and everything. So I'm glad you said that because not a lot of people are focusing on that end. That's kind of he's kind of is getting his goal of brushing that under the rug, and more people are focused on, is he really here for the sale? How much power does he have? And is he going to be back in creative?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's dangerous because I think that there's so many people now, like from our childhood and stuff, who are just like dicks. Like they were abusers, or they were, it's like the whole slap league thing on TBS that's on right now. And I know that we'll get to Jay Briscoe, I'm sure, but like, to me, one of the biggest problems was you don't want to have Jay Briscoe on who put one homophobic tweet out 9 years ago that he has consistently apologized for. He went to treatment to try and better himself, but you're okay having Mike Tyson, the rapist, on your show whenever you can. like at all times, and he's joked about raping women. Like it's not like he's atoned for. I mean, I'm not saying that if you rape someone, you then can get, you should get stuff, but like he's not even sorry about it. He's just kind of, oh well, I can make a joke about it at the Hall of Fame. So I feel there's a lot of normalizing, because also people don't want their entertainment ruined by stuff. So it's like it's easier to just kind of go, oh well, it's fine. But I do think with Vince, the sexual element of it, I think, is the most important. Even though the creative one will harm me more, but I'm trying to.
Exactly. I think that's why people focus on that and more. But you talked to Krssi about him like dealing with contracts, but we talked last week about WWE was going to be doing potential office cuts, and they cut two major people: the head of communications, Adam Hopkins, another one a part of communications and PR was also released last week, and then this week WWE has seen another major executive leave with head of international Matthew Drew reportedly gone. PW Insider reports that Drew, who was the senior vice president international, recently exited the company. Drew came over to WWE from DAZN in June of 2021 for the position and headed up growing WWE's brand and business outside of the United States. He managed the company's global media partners and worked with other companies to devise WWE's international strategy for live events, digital consumer products, and new revenue opportunities. And it feels like I'm going to be talking about someone major in the company getting released or getting cut every single week, it seems like, since this whole thing has been started to go on.
Unfortunately, it's really, really sad news, and that's the reality of it, to be honest.
It is 100%. But
see, if you work for WWE, and look, I get it. Like I would probably work for WWE if I could, right? But
if I could, I mean, you're gonna pay me the right amount of change, yeah.
Yeah. You're not gonna go for free or for like minimum wage. Everybody's got a price.
People got a price. I mean, I'm not gonna quit my job. I mean, I might probably look for something else in the interim before I leave. Yeah,
But like, there's people who work there. But to me, if you work there, you know what you're getting into.
Yeah,
you know where you're going.
Yep.
So like, you
can't be surprised.
You can't be surprised. But you have to know, if you work there for 30 years, there's going to come a day where you're not there anymore, and they're going to let you go. And I think somebody said, I can't put it very eloquently because I'm not very eloquent, but there's a thing about, you give your life to a company or a corporation or whatever it is, but they would drop you if needs be. So you have to treat it like a transaction, which is how they treat it. So, don't let it be your whole life. You have to kind of have other things. So if it falls apart, it's not the end of everything for you.
Yeah, you have to have something else to fall back on. And I know a couple of people that do work at WWE who's already, having those talks internally to themselves. But one person who made the choice to leave on their own, quote unquote, we don't know for sure, is Stephanie McMahon. And according to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, the word going around in the company among those unhappy with her departure is that she left because she was about to be demoted. The belief is that while she did a great job as co-CEO, she doesn't need the money or the job. She had already decided to go on hiatus last year before circumstances forced her return. As she said, she took it one step further as she is no longer on the board. But to kind of have that report that Stephanie was about to get demoted, it's like you're about to get shot and you wear a bulletproof vest. Like he's like, I'm getting the hell up out of here. What did you think about Stephanie's kind of leaving the company, coinciding with Vince being unanimously voted to executive chairman by the same board that unanimously voted for him not to be back on the board? What did you think about those things coinciding and the fact that she was about to be demoted according to this report here, Kenny?
Do you know what the red flag should be in all situations? Should be when your father suggests that you guys do an incest angle on TV when you're pregnant.
Right. That's
I
disgusting.
feel like after that point, you should be expecting anything. You should be. But I'm a very emotional person, and I'm a very loyal person, so I would really struggle with the idea that it's like, you know, you're my dad, but like you can fuck me over like whenever you want. Like I would really struggle. Like, can you imagine their dinner chat at Christmas when everybody knew he was trying to get back, and they knew he was going to just shaft everything to get back in, and they knew it. But I bet you they would all just.
I've been asking for a few weeks what happened during Christmas, because the first letter was actually December 27th. So did he tell them about it during Christmas and then he sent the letter to the board, or did Triple H say something slick to him like, "Hope you're enjoying your vacation, Dad. We're doing great over here." Like what was said during that Christmas dinner? That's what I want to know.
What would be more dramatic, a McMahon Christmas dinner or a Tony Khan hotel party? I mean, it would just there's.
I've been to those Tony Khan hotel parties, I will say.
Well, have you?
Yes, I have.
Oh God, we'll talk about that later.
He had a great time that time.
Oh, I bet you did. I bet you did.
Had a great time, and Tony Khan always has a great time.
Oh, so it is true that he just invites wrestling reporters and wrestling people to hotels. Good.
He doesn't really invite them, but you know, you get the tip. If you're friends with some people on the roster, you get the tip where the party's at, and Tony just pulls up and he's like,
hey.
"What's that bottle in the back in the case? Oh, it's $10,000. Yeah, shots for everybody."
I bet that party went on all night long.
All night long, Tony Khan party, man. But I would say the McMahon dinner party might be more interesting, though. It might be more interesting.
Like we're all like sitting at the dinner table and like really like form like, and it's like a long table. And you just sitting there like, oh, it's about to go down. Let me pour me another glass of this dinner real quick. Like,
imagine Shane in between all of that.
Really Succession. It's really like Succession. It's probably like if you watch Succession, it's probably just like that. I feel
like a McMahon family dinner is probably a bit like The Crown or something. Like it's like really official, like really like. But then I feel like the difference is if you go to McMahon dinner, you could be a hit could be out to assassinate you by the end of the dinner. Whereas at the Tony Khan party, you need to avoid him cornering you to sit and talk about ECW for 3 hours. He's like, I don't care, Tony. Move on. It's not 1995 anymore.
CM saying Shane laughing and eating popcorn with his family. Yes, yes. He's like, I got fired. I didn't have to go through all of this. Oh, this is great.
I'm gonna just. So this is. I don't know whether I should say this. Okay, right. So hypothetically. If I hypothetically had a story, which did not happen, but hypothetically say it did, in the last 6 months, Shane was at a football game for one of his kids, and he was there. And Shane goes every week, and he is always a very like chill guy. He's like very like part of the community. So this one day he's there, and Shane's like standing up, like shouting for like you know. Go and do this, you know, you get really involved.
He's the dad that's on the sidelines just screaming.
Yeah, but he's never like that usually. Yeah. But this time, it's like that's weird. And then he keeps looking into the stands, and in the stands with a big jacket on and a baseball cap is Vince. And that tells you everything you need to know. He's still desperate for the love, the love
from his daddy.
The love from his dad.
He'll take it through his kids.
He got daddy issues. That's what you're saying.
I mean,
he has daddy. They have daddy issues.
I mean, even Vince has daddy issues. If you really think about it, like,
I mean, how could you be a McMahon and not have daddy issues? Like, it's impossible. Like, how would you be able to? I mean, also, has there been a bigger heel turn in the world? I know I'm late to this party, right? But has there been a bigger heel turn than Linda McMahon in the world? Like, when you were younger, you thought, oh, she's just this like nice lady, and you're like, oh, is there words I'm not allowed to say on this?
Oh no, go for it. I told you,
such a cunt. I mean, she is just the biggest piece of.
I would rather you be honest and give your real, true, honest feelings. Don't sugarcoat it, friend. We're all family. It's okay.
Thank you very much. I'm in a safe space.
I mean, you're in a safe, very safe space, friend.
Say your truth.
One of my favorite gags that a couple of friends and I had is we said for a few years that Linda and Vince definitely went to the same barber, like because they definitely like it's the same haircut. Like they honestly, they must get a 2-for-1 special. Like
Vince, Shane, and Linda all went to the same barber because they all got the same haircut.
Sad.
They
So
all
sad.
got the same haircut. Man, this is great. Negro Boy saying, yeah, go off, Kenny. This is Tru Heel Heat for a reason. Yes, this is what we're doing.
Thank you, Nikki. I appreciate that.
But we have other news besides Vince McMahon and McMahon succession drama. Talking about Raw 30 again, you had the Undertaker and Bray Wyatt segment, and WrestleVotes had a report about that, saying that the Undertaker has been a huge supporter of Bray Wyatt for a long time now, going back to their match the two had at WrestleMania 31 in 2015. The moment they shared on Raw was another example of that. Following the match at WrestleMania 31, though, the Undertaker reportedly told Vince McMahon to take care of Wyatt. WrestleVotes tweeted, feels like a good time to tweet this. Following their match at WrestleMania 31, Undertaker told Vince in the post-match embrace to take care of him in reference to Bray. Regardless of what happened in the interim, Taker has always been a huge Wyatt supporter. It showed just now, and both Undertaker and Bray Wyatt shared the comments on the historic moment later on social media. The Undertaker wrote, "Moments define this industry. This one was special." Meanwhile, Wyatt tweeted that this moment justified a lifetime of sacrifices for me, a lifetime of people treating my uniqueness like it was a disease. Through all the bad times, I never changed myself to fit anyone's narrative. I'm proud of that. Thank you, Taker. Hashtag suck it, LA Knight. So did you enjoy this passing of the torch moment on Raw 30, Ms Krissi Luv, and did you view it as such as what they were trying to get across here?
I actually did. I was he whispered something in his ear like that, like you said, little real secret love stories, I guess. But yeah, I thought it was a sweet thing to do and pass over the torch. I guess that they treated him as an Undertaker as character. So yeah, I really think it was kind of like this passive. And I like that he wasn't in the Undertaker attire. I like that he was the badass instead of the other attire. And I was like, give the coat and the jacket, like keep it in the closet. We don't have to see it. It's okay. This is who you really are. This is what you wear. This is how you walk around the house when you're going to get the kids. This is who you are. Stay that way.
Yeah, that was a good touch because it felt like the real man was passing the torch.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Right.
Kenny, do you have confidence in the Triple H regime to kind of obtain that aura of the Undertaker for Bray Wyatt now?
So there's a couple of things. Bray Wyatt is just as shit as he used to be. None of this has made any fucking sense. It's been 3 months. I think we've had like one, rice.
Yeah, everyone is tired. Yeah, everyone's tired.
Nothing's happened. He's just talking shit, and it's like none of it makes sense. But at the same time, it's like I feel like Bray Wyatt, being a Bray Wyatt fan is an abusive relationship. It is a constant abusive relationship. He gives you something, you're hooked back in, and then it's just nothing. I get nothing again. But what I will say is with the Undertaker thing, I would love, and they're not going to do this. I know they're not, but like indulge me. I really wanted to do a Firefly Funhouse match with Undertaker this year at WrestleMania, where he doesn't have to wrestle. He just does exactly like what John Cena did that year. Because can you imagine him with his guy liner on doing like the old 1990 gray and black, look really sad? Oh.
And have Bruce Pritchard as Brother Love bringing him to the ring. Yes. I'll be all for it.
I want it. Let's do it. It needs to be done. Let's do it.
Get that Royal Rumble 94 casket that Yokozuna put him in. Get that out.
They can call up Big Dick Johnson to play Paul Bearer.
Possibilities are endless. Because here's the other thing. So the Bray Wyatt thing's interesting because do you see the report from the Observer that he's the number one babyface on SmackDown? That's how they see it, right? Yeah. But the problem is when you put Bray Wyatt in a storyline with anybody established, he ruins them.
Yeah.
So it's this weird thing where they've got this guy who's like super popular. He sells merch or whatever, and he's great, but he's just not really a wrestler. He's a character.
Yeah.
What do you do? And then at WrestleMania, it's going to be him and Uncle Howdy. I mean, really?
I was gonna save it for our Royal Rumble preview, but I am dreading tonight and this pitch black match. This feels like this is setting him up to fail.
The best part of the whole thing is pitch black match, right? Pitch black.
Patch.
Sponsored by Mountain Dew. Sponsored by the
Mountain
most
Dew.
fucking vociferous green color you can ever imagine.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, not even like ginger ale, or like Pepsi
Mountain
or
Dew.
Mountain Dew of all drinks. Not even Dr. Pepper. Like we could do Dr. Pepper maybe. Like,
but nobody in the food
like,
chain, nobody in the whole chain of events went, maybe Mountain Dew for a pitch black match is a weird combination.
Hey, they paid the money. They paid the money.
Right. So is Mountain Dew going to be anywhere on the floor? Or is it like in the vicinity of like this pitch black? Because it's green, so it's bright as fuck. So maybe it's like the green.
Well, they have a pitch black flavor now. It's actually a pitch black. It's a black flavor of the.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is. Because I've seen people now getting it and posting it online saying, "I'm ready for the pitch black, the Mountain Dew pitch black match." So,
I mean, it's not golden egg levels of shit, but it's getting there. Do you know what I mean? Remember that fucking golden? Everybody was like, "Oh, the Rock's gonna come back with a fucking egg," like just. Oh, so good.
Because it's from his movie.
The thing is, with Bray Wyatt, I am so excited for how shit this is going to be. I'm so excited about it. But then, if it's good, then great, we can be happy. But if it's shit, then WrestleCrap can have another induction.
See, set your expectations at shit, and anything above that, you will be happy. And then if it hits shit, you'll be like, oh, I got what I expected.
Yep.
My other half,
don't set it too high. Just set that like that right above like the shit level, and then you're like, all right, see, there you go. That's what we expected. You're okay. Whew. Okay, next match.
I've been learning from my other half. He's got to say it. So I get excited about everything, right? I get excited about any meal I'm gonna have. I'm fucking so excited. He has no excitement level in his body until something has happened, and he says, I don't like to get excited because then I'll be disappointed if it's not good. And I'm like, that's such a good way to be. I can't be that way.
No,
I get excited about mac and cheese, like. But I'm just with Bray Wyatt. I'm doubling down on its shit because if anything else happens, I can be happy.
And a Negro Buck saying it best, saying it's like Zendaya said in Spider-Man: expect disappointment, and you won't be disappointed. This is true.
That's very true. That's a great, that's a great thing to say.
Of life, right there.
You're very astute viewers.
I see this. I'm proud. Speaking of Raw 30, they had some news on the Wrestling Observer newsletter that reported that Major League Wrestling MLW sent a cease and desist letter to WWE over contacting its talent to appear at the 30th anniversary of Raw. While it's unknown which contracted wrestlers WWE reached out to, it's possible they wanted members of the Anau and Fatu family. Hawaii and Fatu families. The company had planned a segment with multiple generations of the bloodline before it was changed. Court Bauer reportedly told talent to have WWE contact the company directly about having their talent appear. He didn't say whether or not MLW would have allowed it. WWE never contacted MLW, and the segment was canceled anyway. So they were trying to get Jacob Fatu and the Samoan Dynasty, and/or they were trying to get Savio Vega. If I would have popped for Savio Vega on Raw 30, I don't know about you.
Well, as long as it's not the No Way Out 1998 Savio Vega, because that'll live with me to the day I die. Fucking replacement for Shawn Michaels, a fucking book. And they made it at a pay-per-view.
Classic, because it was Los Boricuas Savio Vega, not Savio Vega that debuted.
Not the Latin sensation.
Not the Latin sensation. Not
let's be honest. Was he really ever a Latin sensation? He's not Ricky Martin. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, Ricky Martin, Savio Vega. I mean, kind of goes hand in hand, in my opinion.
Does it really?
I don't know about y'all. But one notable legend that wasn't on Raw 30 was actually none other than John Cena. But there seems to be a reason why. The Wrestling Observer newsletter reports that John Cena is currently scheduled to appear at the Royal Rumble. It was unknown if he will be wrestling, possibly in the Rumble match itself, but he's on the show as according to this report. Do we see John Cena being in the 30-man Royal Rumble? Krssi, Kenny, what do y'all think?
I could see it. I think he could, hit something with theory or something. I mean, Krssi, you look very annoyed that John Cena is existing in life. Do you want to talk about it?
No, I mean, he's cool. We just seen him like 3 weeks ago. Do we need more John Cena and his dad hair? Not really, but sure.
And his dad hair.
I mean, the bald spot is, whoa.
Because he got all the hair. It's like he's turning into all the comparisons to Hulk Hogan over the years, and he is legitimately, his hair is turning him into that.
I don't have a lot of money, but if I had a bald spot at the back of my head, I'd have been in fucking Turkey by now. I'd be getting that fucking back.
Him and LeBron just don't see that that's a problem. I don't get it. I really don't understand it. Him and LeBron James really think that it's okay, and it's really not.
It's not. It's like Shawn Michaels when Shawn Michaels got hit in the gammy eye. One eye's going to the shop, the other one's come back with the change, and like he decided to keep it. He thought, "Oh, I'll keep it."
When was it always like? When did it get like this? Like, I don't recall it being like this though.
It was 2000. Are we talking Cena's hair or Shawn's eye?
Sean's eye.
It was like 2008.
No, it was 2004. Okay. It was a match with Kane.
Oh.
Because Kane hit him with a chair, and it was like and it did something, and then he was like, "Oh, I'm not vain anymore." And it's like, it's not about being vain, Sean. It's about I don't know what eye to look at.
Right.
It's a
like I don't know how to talk to you. Like it's just, like put on sunglasses. I don't know what to tell you. I really don't.
He's like, I'm just trying to go eye to eye with you. I don't know where to look.
Making it too difficult. God, I mean, it's so funny that he used to be the sexy boy, and it's like he's had a bet with his wife to de-sexify himself to the highest extent that he can.
So much. I used to love Shawn. I used to think Shawn Michaels was such a gorgeous man, and then he just got old, and you just like.
He's a long way from those Playgirl covers. That's I'll tell you.
My point was going to be about John Cena. If I, at my fucking mediocre level of finance, would be in Turkey getting my hair transplant, there's no excuse that he's not done it.
That's what I'm saying. Really, it's so much technology around here, and you have the resources to get this done. You don't even have to be. No one even has to know. Like that's what I'm saying. Like you can get on a private jet. It could be you could be incognito, hat, sunglasses, hoodie, in and out. Like we could make this trip within a week, yo. No one would know that you was even in the hospital at all.
He's got so much money, he wouldn't even need to leave the house. He could have someone come to his home.
You're right.
And do the hair transplant in the house.
You know what? That is, Ken, you have such a point.
He got money for days. It's like, come on. But yeah, who do y'all see though? John Cena setting up a WrestleMania match with, because we've had reports of Logan Paul, we've had reports of Austin Theory for a year. I would love him and Stone Cold. If Stone Cold's gonna have a match, why not with John Cena and have a dream match off the list? So if you could pick one for WrestleMania 39, who would it be, Ms Krissi Luv?
I gotta see the angle for why Stone Cold. They'll probably.
All you need to do is just have Cena come into the Rumble, throw some people out. He's in there alone. He looks at his watch like he's Austin in 1997. 3, 2, 1, glass break. They do a stare down. Go at it. That's all you need to build up to WrestleMania. Honestly, with those two names.
Okay, sure. All right.
You're gonna be so disappointed tonight when he fights. When he
yeah.
When
I think Austin Theory, but okay, no problem.
I see him chucking out Austin Theory and then getting eliminated by Logan Paul.
Hey, that's fine. Wait, Logan is back. He all right? Like
he's reportedly healthy enough to
we can't
be
get
in the
rid of
Rumble.
these people.
I don't know.
Damn, I don't understand.
Do you know who I want to see in the Rumble? Bring back Pat McAfee. Get him back.
I agree.
Thank you. Like the one person that we do need, they won't bring back.
He's gonna be back soon enough. Yeah.
But because Austin Theory on SmackDown last night did the kind of tease, right? Because he said the champ is here, so like obviously they're set up. And, you know, Austin Theory, I think it will be a good, what's the word, status enhancer for him.
Yeah, win or
And
lose.
also, I can't wait to see John Cena's hair at WrestleMania. Oh, after a 20-minute match. Fucking hell.
On the big screen, too. Oh,
Like
man.
HD. So you remember that year that Sting fought at WrestleMania and he hadn't had his hair transplant yet? And the wind just had a wee gust in his hair and you were like, oh, no.
Like,
Wasn't
poor
good.
Steve. Poor Steve Borden. Let's move on though to Sting's home, AEW Dynamite this week. They were back up above 1 million viewers, their highest viewership since October, 1,003,000. And the show featured an absolutely emotional roller coaster of a main event as Mark Briscoe made his AEW debut by defeating Jay Lethal in a tremendous Jay Briscoe tribute match with Jay's finisher, the Jay Driller, for the win. You also had Darby Allin. He beat Buddy Matthews in a great matchup to retain the TNT Championship. Post-match, Samoa Joe made his return to set up a no-holds-barred rematch against Darby on next week's show. You also had Hangman Adam Page. He made a challenge that he wants to knock out Jon Moxley in Ohio next Wednesday when they visit Dayton. You also had Ruby Soho beat Tony Storm thanks to a distraction from Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. You also had Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara, Le Sex Gods, beat Ricky Starks and Action Andretti in a fun opener, and Bryan Danielson. No, not at all.
No, but he looks like him, like his like low budget little brother. Duh, that's
very dollar value. Will
there you go,
yes,
like Dollar Tree version. Dollar Tree. It's the Sheen version. You know when you like what you got, and then this is what you ordered, and this is what you got. That version.
It's the supermarket brand ketchup. Yes, ketchup. Yeah. Bryan Danielson defeated Brian Cage in a very good bout where Cage went after Brian's arm as being paid by MJF, and then post-match Cage further attacked Dragon with MJF joining him to Pillmanize Brian's arm until Konosuke Takeshita made the save. Later in the show, Brian cut an American Dragon ROH style promo about fighting through the injury, while MJF called up the services of none other than Timothy Thatcher to face Dragon next week on Dynamite.
Give them 20 minutes, please.
Krssi Luv, what did you think about Mark Briscoe's debut on AEW after so much of being said about, WBD not bringing, the Briscoes onto their show, Kenny bringing it up earlier because of the tweet from Jay Briscoe? I think that, still fuck WBD, but I think it was great what they were able to do for Jay Briscoe on the show. What did you think?
That gave me goosebumps. So beautiful to see his brother tribute his brother. It's so amazing that they were able to do that. Great main event for that show. Show was great from beginning to end. I mean, wow. Such a good Dynamite. But yes, such a good thing that they were able to do that at the end of the show. And then everyone coming out, and it was just beautiful to see. I wish his family was there, but they're grieving right now. So that's something,
Grieving, and they're, Gracie and Jay Lee are still in the hospital. Hopefully they're going to be on the better end. And of course, thank you to everyone last week who sent super chats. We were able to send a donation to the Pugh family as they continue to grieve. And hopefully the daughters, they're getting more and more good news every day. So hopefully they'll be out very soon. Kenny, you chat a lot with Jim Cornette, and I actually this week watched when Jim Cornette managed the Briscoes back at Glory by Honor in 2006 against Samoa Joe and Homicide. Being close to Cornette, I know you probably have been able to maybe talk about, Jay Briscoe passing, but what was kind of your reaction to the passing and seeing the outpouring of love from the wrestling community for Jay?
It was great. I mean, I think that sometimes you go online and you're just like, oh God, it's so toxic. But like this time it was like everybody came together. They put all this money together. It's such a horrible thing to happen. I have a real problem when people atone for stuff like genuinely and really better themselves and then are punished still for something it's a tweet. It's not like he attacked anyone. It's not like it was a tweet. Like you can't, so I think that the Warner Brothers thing was bullshit, but I think Tony Khan deserves a ton of credit for pushing this and pushing this and pushing this and getting it to happen. I mean, for people who are not aware who are watching this, I'm sure that most people who are watching this are American, so they are aware of the healthcare system and how fucking diabolical it is.
Yes.
And like, you know, so they've raised like $250,000. Like, that's probably all going to have to go to the hospital bills. So like, there's probably not going to be any money there.
Which is so sad.
Which is so sad, you know, and yeah, it's horrible. But I think that it was. I've seen 3 Briscoe matches in my life, and it's the FTR ones. That's the only Briscoes matches I've ever seen, and so I didn't have like an emotional connection to them, but I was like tearing up. I was, you know, during the video, and then the match, and yeah, I thought it was really, really well done, and AEW should be very proud of themselves this week.
Yeah, it was Mark speaking into the camera after the match, calling out to Gracie, Jay Lee, Gannon, saying keep your head up, and saying, Jamin boy, I love you, baby. That was the part I was like, oh, y'all do it, y'all. Why y'all gotta do? I'm not supposed to get emotional watching wrestling, but it did that. And talking more about, you know, everything that went down before we got to AEW Dynamite, while the Briscoes signed a long-term contract with Tony Khan's ROH last year, they were still not allowed to appear on AEW TV to promote ROH pay-per-views. This was due to a ban from Warner Brothers Discovery, the parent company of TBS and TNT. Tony Khan confirmed this in an interview, noting that he wanted to put them on TV to hype matches with FTR, and the team's ban almost prevented any kind of tribute to Jay Briscoe before this week's show. Khan had said he fought hard to get Mark Briscoe on Dynamite for the tribute match with Jay Lethal. According to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, they report that there were multiple reasons why the Briscoes were not allowed on AEW TV. Obviously, one of them was Jay Briscoe's homophobic tweet from 2013, which he had later apologized for. The other was said to be because the team wore the Confederate flag as part of their gear, which they haven't in years, which that didn't make sense either. That was why WBD initially wouldn't let Mark appear until this past week or allow any kind of significant tribute to Jay last week. It was noted that AEW's deal with WBD gave the latter the right to ban people from TV. The ban either seemed to apply to pay-per-view, as Khan wanted to put the Briscoes on All Out last year in Chicago, but couldn't get it cleared and went with the Motor City Machine Guns instead. Eventually, Mark was allowed on the show and paid tribute to his brother on Wednesday. And according to PW Insider, Mark Briscoe's recent AEW appearance is not an anomaly, and the wrestler is slated to be used by the promotion on an ongoing basis. I'm going to say it here right now, put the ROH World Championship on Mark Briscoe. This man has never held a singles title. I think commentary did a great job of talking about how he always came close to the TV title. He was never able to win it. But I want Mark Briscoe to win the ROH World Championship. I'm just going to put that out there into the universe. Tony Khan, use my booking ideas. You already do it already. But there is someone who's been off of TV as of late, someone big that I know a lot of people have been asking, where is he? And it's Wardlow. Since he lost his match to Samoa Joe a month ago, he hasn't been seen on AEW television. And according to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, the reason that Wardlow has not been on TV is because he's dealing with an injury. The attack from Joe after their match was done to write him off of TV. However, it's believed he won't be gone for long. What do you think they should do with Wardlow upon his return to AEW? Because he's significantly cooled off from where he was kind of like at Double or Nothing when he beat MJF all those months ago. What do you think, Ms Krissi Luv?
I don't know. He's one of those big guys that just like is the same big guy. So it's like, what do you do with this big guy now? We were, you know, when he was with MJF and he, you know, parted ways, we were like, okay, yeah, we're a part of it. Then he became the champion and it got like very stale. So it got kind of not even stale, like it flatlined. Sorry. So it's like, what can you do for him? It's like, I don't know if like Tony doesn't know how to book his big guys per se. I feel like, because I feel like they do the same thing like Hobbs him, who's the other big guy?
Brian Cage,
like all his big guys. I feel like he doesn't know what to do, and if he does do something, it's like recycled and do it with Darby. The same people over again. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I don't know how you can fix this or where we can like put him. Do we make him heel now? Like what? Like how do we change it?
Yeah, do you think there's some type of big guy discrimination going on in AEW, Kenny?
I feel like I just said something really nice about AEW, and you're forcing me to now say some very not nice things. I mean, Tony Khan, Booker of the Year, get fucked. What he's done for Wardlow is a crime. He should be arrested for his booking. It is abysmal. This guy last May was the hottest guy in the fucking company, and then once he beat MJF at Double or Nothing.
It had the Liv Morgan effect.
Yeah, but also it was
the same
like,
shit. Yeah,
Wardlow
same thing.
Never put in a story. He was never put in a story. He was never given any Tony Khan didn't do anything with him. And then when he gave him the TNT title, there was no feuds. There was no feuds as champion. And then I'm sorry, right? Samoa Joe. I've got nothing against 45-year-old men wanting to wrestle, right? But what I do have a problem with is 45-year-old men being featured over Wardlow when Samoa Joe's not as over as Wardlow is. And so the thing
he didn't need both titles. He didn't need it.
No, not at all. And then the other week, so it's like you said he wrote him off because he was injured, right? So what he actually did, let's tell the whole story what he actually did. So Tony Khan, Booker of the Year, he decided the best way to write Wardlow off was to have Samoa Joe attack him before the match, then have Wardlow be quite dominant, but then after he couldn't do a powerbomb, immediately tap it to the Coquina clutch. Yep. Then after the match, Samoa Joe went and got scissors and cut his hair. So he basically cut his balls off. And then the best scenario.
True. I forgot all about that part. You're right.
Yes.
Damn.
And then the best case scenario is that he comes back and beats Samoa Joe. And then we're back at square one. And he now doesn't have his man bun, which was fucking a great part of his act. Because it's
the man bun is gone. Fuck. You're right. Damn.
Hardly anybody can pull off a man bun, but Wardlow was able to pull it off. And now he's fucking Steve from fucking Cincinnati working at the depot. That's what he looks like now. So, yeah.
Steve from Cincinnati. That's a great one.
Booker of the Year.
Booker of the Year. As voted by Tru Heel Heat too. Tru Heel Heat. Oh, well, they voted. They voted that. I don't do the votes. The fans do. They voted Tony Khan.
The fans are wrong. I'm telling you right now, the fans are wrong.
They voted him Booker of the Year, and they also voted the worst booking of the year being not capitalizing on FTR. So take that out.
FTR. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna.
He's not going to. Don't you know? You're trying to make him go there. See,
I could spend an hour on Tony. Especially when you've got and this is not me saying that WWE is like the best or anything, but come on. I mean, the guy can't book FTR. He can't book Wardlow. He can't book. Darby Allin he's booking a little bit right now. That's fine, but I love story. I've said this to you before. I think SP3 for me, I only care about a wrestling match for the most part if there's a story. That's what makes me care. Unless you got an indie show, in which case you're just having a good time, but. They don't do that much story, and I don't care if you want to bring in somebody from Pro Wrestling Noah or the NWA. Book your own people well, then bring those people in.
I feel you, and I talk about it every week on Thursday with Jimmy.
They had Wardlow. They had a Wardlow. They had it. He should have fucking won the title. They should have put the belt on him, but they didn't.
It shouldn't have even wasted time with the chase of the TNT title. I thought he should have just immediately won the TNT title, gone on a dominant run, do the open challenge thing, because that seems to be the only way he knows how to book the TNT title. But he didn't even do the open challenge for Wardlow. Wardlow was not doing anything for months, and then got in a random tag team with Joe. That's what
God, Wardlow, all these stupid fucking tag teams, Thunderstorm, Wardlow.
Jungle Hook.
Jungle Hook.
Hey, that one is getting the female ratings though. The female ratings. That's what they're about.
That's what they care about more.
Speaking of big man in AEW, Brian Cage's AEW contract is set to come to an end soon, according to a new report. According to
Jesus
to
Christ, look at that
Fightful.
photo. Fucking hell.
He's another one. Like, what do you do with this man? Like,
Cage's current deal with the company will expire in a matter of weeks unless they come to terms on a new deal. In the interim, Cage signed with AEW in 2020, and his original deal was set to expire last year before AEW picked up an option year. Cage was said to have been surprised by that, as he didn't believe he would be kept on board after being off of television for so long. And Fightful notes there have been feelers to gauge WWE's interest in Cage, but there's no word on whether there is actual interest on either side. Cage has received high marks for his work in AEW since he returned to TV last year. He just had a banger of a match with Bryan Danielson on this week's show. Do you see WWE picking up Brian Cage and actually doing something with him? Because this would help with Cody, because they haven't had a follow-up from Cody of a jump from AEW to WWE, and Cage seems like a big guy who wasn't given a significant push in AEW that WWE can get and then do something with, where it seems like he's better there.
I mean, he couldn't do any worse in WWE. I mean, you could actively try and probably not do worse than he is. I mean, the guy's not exactly going to miss going to Florida once a month to work on Dark in a warehouse. Like, I'm sure that he had bigger aspirations when he signed. Yeah, I mean, I feel bad for Brian Cage, but then they've got a million people, so you can't push everybody at once. So then it's like, I think he is good. But yeah, if I were him, I'd be taking my chances elsewhere. If WWE are interested, then 100%. He could. I mean, even Brian Cage in NXT for a while could be good. Like, you have him kind of develop whatever the persona is going to be in WWE, hone it there, then go up to the main roster. So, because I don't know if Brian Cage is a big enough name to like the general audience that if he turned up on Raw or SmackDown, they don't really care. So,
nope, they won't.
Krssi says, anything Krssi says, I'm on board. In which case, I don't.
It's like the Braun Strowman effect. Like, it's like, okay, we've got another big guy. Yay. Like, what are we going to do with this big guy? Nothing. Put him in a random tag team. Because they don't care about tag teams anyway. So,
Maybe we could have War Cage.
Why not?
Brian Cage.
I mean, you might as well.
As well.
They'll be the new generation Chronic. two big men who aren't over. Put them together. Chronic 2.0.
God bless them.
Final AEW note, they made a big deal this week with a streaming company with DAZN. It's now official under a new partnership. DAZN will have exclusive broadcast rights for AEW in 42 markets across Europe and Asia. So AEW is going to get more exposure in different places. So Kenny will be annoyed even more because he'll have more availability to AEW.
Oh, great. More time for me to watch Rampage where nothing fucking happens.
Hey, something did happen this week on Rampage. Let's talk about last night's Rampage. It featured actually two awesome matches, and I was shocked because it was two awesome matches.
I've not seen this. What happened?
Yes. First you had Hangman Adam Page. He defeated Wheeler Yuta in a great opener, and he actually used Moxley's Death Rider for the finish in this one after hitting the buckshot lariat. But the match that surprised me the most throughout this entire week was an absolute banger with Jamie Hayter. Put Jamie Hayter on TV. It's must-see TV. She had a banger with Emi Sakura, who hasn't been used in AEW since, I think, like 2019. And she just went out there, had a hell of a match, had the crowd that had seen 3 hours of wrestling on their feet for this matchup. They chopped the shit out of each other. Both women's chests were bright red by the end of this matchup. And they also had storyline development as Top Flight set their sights on the AEW Trios Championships after their win over the Young Bucks. You also had Dustin Rhodes make his return following the passing away of his mother and set up a program with Swerve Strickland. You also had Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, approach Ruby Soho following this week's Dynamite and told her to pick a side in the simmering homegrown versus outsider storyline. And Eddie Kingston teased potentially joining the House of Black in a promo where he called out Ortiz after last week hitting him with the steel chair. So See, they knew you were going to say something, Kenny, and they actually delivered a Rampage that had storyline and 2 great matches. So there you go.
Look, I stand corrected. I do like the Hangman Page stuff. I think that's really good. I think his storyline is very effective. So yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily know if I think the thing with Rampage is I think they should, and I'm going to use a very relevant example here: Sunday Night Heat, obviously, which is as we know and love, R.I.P.
Yes,
but like
absolutely.
With Heat, what used to happen is you would watch Raw, and there would be something that happened on Heat. They would show you a brief clip of, but like you couldn't get through Dynamite without the storyline that had been on Heat the night before.
Yes.
Raw from Heat the night before. So I think that's what they need to do with Rampage. So instead of having like Hangman Page beat Wheeler Yuta on Rampage, maybe like there's an angle with Moxley and Page that happens on Rampage, and that's what sets up a match on Dynamite. So like there's a reason to watch. Because I feel like good wrestling, you can get good wrestling everywhere. It's everywhere. So like I think it just needs to be more like it's always the B stories. And it's mostly going to be, but you do need to have some of the A stories at some point. Which is my more measured critique of Rampage rather than my rant.
No, I totally agree with you because that's the one thing I've been saying about Rampage. It needs to be more connected to Dynamite.
Right.
That's why I like the Britt Baker and Ruby Soho segment and Top Flight talking about their win on Dynamite over the Young Bucks and challenging the Elite for the Trios Championship. So if they could do that on a consistent basis, because I feel like I say that one week and then the next week nothing happens. So they just have to keep it consistently with that. We also got
Rampage like the ugly stepsister.
They really do. It's definitely not to SmackDown to Dynamite Raw.
No.
It's velocity to Dynamite Raw. Even the step below Sunday Night Heat, it's velocity. It's Shotgun Saturday Night post to 1999.
It's metal.
He said metal. I haven't heard that in years.
Or Jack. I'm Jack.
Oh, was it Thunder? Thursday?
That was WCW.
Thunder was WCW, yeah.
Thunder was another one, maybe.
WCW Saturday Night after Nitro.
Yes.
Where nothing really happened there.
Because Thunder's actually a really good example of what Rampage can be, because like Thunder sometimes it'd be like the main event is like Bobby Duncombe Jr. against like Jerry Flynn, and you're like, life's short. We shouldn't have to go through this.
He's like, life's short. I want to see the next day.
People die of terminal diseases. There's not long left for people, and you're making them sit and watch this.
Why are you doing this to them? In AEW news that broke before Rampage, AEW and Luchasaurus have been sued for selling merchandise based on the latter's mask, which the designer says is copywritten. WrestleNomics reports that Composite Effects LLC, CFX for short, filed a suit against AEW and Luchasaurus and claimed that the mask Luchasaurus performs under is theirs and that the parties are merchandising it without permission. The complaint is dated on December 20th, and in it, Louisiana-based CFX said that it owns licensing and design rights on all its characters, including the mask, and the complaint states that Luchasaurus was entitled to use the mask in events as a wrestler, but neither he nor anyone acting on his behalf was entitled to create merchandise that incorporated the mask design. Luchasaurus said in a tweet in response, or an email in response, he says, "Hey man, thanks for the work on the new mask, but after getting a look of it on my face, Tony and I agreed my current mask is just too iconic at this point, and we can't change the face." CFX is asking for profits that AEW has made related to mask infringement and other damages and attorney's fees. AEW has yet to respond to WrestleNomics' request for comment on the suit. So it's not just WWE in lawsuits. AEW got a lawsuit too.
Damn.
Gotta love.
They don't want nobody. Yeah, everybody wants your money.
Everybody trying to get a dollar.
Yeah, I'm about to say. I mean, listen, it is like the inflation is high.
If you put in the work, you gotta ask for the change. So, but outside of Rampage, last night we also had the go home show for Royal Rumble with WWE SmackDown. Then the show featured, of course, More bloodline drama as Sami Zayn immediately to start the show disobeyed the tribal chief's orders and showed up to first tell Jey Uso that if he needed anything, just ask. After Jey defending him during the tribal court, then the Usos were ejected from the arena after a backstage confrontation with Kevin Owens. So Jey called up Sami for a favor. In the main event, Kevin Owens defeated Solo Sikoa via disqualification when Sami Zayn made the save when Owens was on the verge of victory. Post-match, Solo Sikoa accidentally super kicked Sami, and KO delivered a pop-up powerbomb to Sikoa onto the commentary table, didn't break, and warned Sami that the bloodline is going to use a steel chair on him before hitting Solo. We also had the Viking Raiders attack Sheamus and Drew McIntyre, the Banger Bros, more on that later, before their SmackDown Tag Team title contenders tournament semifinals. So Sheamus and Drew just decided to forfeit from the tournament. Yeah, that makes the SmackDown Tag Team title seem important, which opened the door for Ricochet and Braun Strowman to replace them and beat Hit Row to advance to the finals. Meanwhile, Imperium beat Legado del Fantasma in a really good matchup to advance as well. Yes. They face each other next week on the show in the finals of the tournament to face the Usos for the SmackDown Tag Team titles.
If Imperium don't win this,
Everyone's favorite social media account, Lacey Evans, made her return in a squash win using the Cobra Clutch and declared for the Royal Rumble. Speaking of the Rumble, Austin Theory, The Miz, and Bobby Lashley from Raw all appeared to hype the match with the New Day in a huge brawl where Bobby Lashley stood tall, but then Brock Lesnar, Krssi Luv's favorite, came through the crowd and F5 Lashley and declared himself for the Rumble as well. Krssi Luv, how happy were you to see Brock Lesnar on back-to-back shows?
Why are you doing this to me? This is what you like to do, right? You just want to just set me off yet again. We don't need Brock Lesnar, okay? And you don't have to do this to Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley has lots of credibility to be better than this. You keep squashing him. What's his beef with Brock Lesnar? I don't understand this. Why does he have such beef with Bobby? He can't squash anybody else but Bobby. Or every time he comes back, it's always Bobby. Every time. Do Amos. I don't know. F5 him.
Why are we picking on Omos?
Whatever is damn. You pick on another person. Stop bothering Bobby damn Lashley.
You know he don't like you don't like those black men who are WWE champions. He don't like that. You got to get rid of that. You got to stop
Kofi, all of them. They're just horrible. But yes, the damn Imperium,
Big E, Bobby Lashley.
Big E, yeah, all of them. What is your beef? See, I'm not gonna say this. I'm not gonna say it. Nope. You're not gonna make me say it. Nope.
How excited were you, Kenny, to see Lacey Evans back on TV?
Hated it. Sorry. Oh, you didn't ask me. Sorry.
Here's the thing, right? If you're a heel and you decide that you want to fake high five a child with Down syndrome, and you're a heel, that I get it. You're a heel and you're doing a heel thing. I think the thing that is the asterisk to why you shouldn't do that is if you basically said that autism didn't exist a month ago. That makes you just that kind of easy. You cannot do that. What's she going to say next? Down syndrome is not real. So I just think it was of all the people, if I was her, I'd be going, do you know what? Maybe I shouldn't do that little thing with the Down syndrome kid because she
could have picked any other kid in the fucking crowd.
Yeah.
Any other one. It's how many kids that be sitting in the front? You picked that one. You didn't do it. You didn't think that was right.
Not the best.
You didn't say, hey, let me get to the third kid over here. You could have even just fist pumped him or something, then just did the other one
It was a choice because I'd heard about it before I saw it, and then I saw it and I was like, oh, it's because
cringing.
There is the element though when you're a heel that you can do stuff like that if you don't have this other stuff hanging over you. But if you've got the other stuff hanging over you, don't do it. It would literally be the equivalent of Hulk Hogan refusing to clap the hand of a black person or an African American. That is what it is. It's a very similar thing. It's we know the real life stuff, so you can't do it. You have to. But yeah.
They have to pick and choose their spots, and they never seem to do it well when it comes
Yes,
to
sir.
people like that. The only news that I wanted to mention on the show here about SmackDown is about the Banger Bros. I thought it was very interesting that WWE has been calling Sheamus and Drew McIntyre the Banger Bros. However, the Wrestling Observer newsletter reports that the company has quietly dropped the name. This is due to WWE discovering that this is a similar name to a porn company called Bang Bros. This isn't the first time. This isn't the first time this has happened with WWE. A team consisting of Paige, Charlotte Flair, and Becky Lynch was originally called Submission Sorority in 2015, but that was changed to Team PCB, and the change was also due to sharing a name with a porn company. So WWE doesn't watch porn. That's what I got from all of it.
Oh my god, it's just as ridiculous. Like, first of all, why do we need these stupid nicknames? 1, 2, they're not really a tag team. They're just put together. Like, I don't get it. Like, why? When are they gonna learn this stuff? Like, it's not like it's Jungle Hook where it's like something funny and cute. It was just like, let's just make them the Banger Bros. Really?
Let's not think twice about it. Banger Bros.
I also feel like maybe you don't watch gay porn and you're not aware that's a real thing. But even if you're not, like, say it out loud and go, I bet you that's a porn thing. Like, let's just check.
Okay, Kenny.
Let's do the incognito window and let's check.
I think the G1 climax is called a porn, but you don't hear me saying anything.
They ain't gonna change that though.
Yeah.
They're not, but it sounds like it sounds. Tell me I'm lying, Kenny.
Anytime someone says the G1 climax, I do think of porn. I just immediately think.
I stand corrected. See, Krssi Luv speaks validated. Right
I keep telling. They didn't believe me. They was like, Krssi, how could you say that? It was like a climax. G1.
Understandable.
We trying to get to that place, that peak. Just saying, wasn't
the remember in Friends they had like the girls gave Chandler like the 7 moves that you have to do to like get.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never tried it, of course. But
right.
Anywho, moving on swiftly. The WWE NXT this week. They did 607 viewers. The show featured Toxic Attraction.
What, Frantic? You know what? We're gonna just put you in the corner somewhere, okay, Frantic, for right now. Yep. We're gonna put you in the corner. Yep.
The show featured Toxic Attraction pulling the swerve, teasing a breakup before the Women's Championship Summit, which ended with Gigi Dolan and JC Jane driving Roxanne Perez through a table. We also had Braun Breaker went crashing through a barricade during a confrontation with Grayson Waller, and Tiffany Stratton made her in-ring return by defeating Indy Hartwell, and with Christopher Daniels' best moonsault ever. Tiffany Stratton, the next best thing in NXT. So thumbs up for that. We'll talk more about NXT next week. You had New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Good job, SB.
The new beginning in Nagoya this past weekend. Shingo Takagi beat Great Okan in a MMA rules matchup to retain the KOPW 2023 championship. He now moves on to face Kazuka Okada for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship at the New Beginning in Osaka on February 11th. That was the same weekend as Pro Wrestling Noah's Bye Bye Muda show, which had the Great Muda, Sting, and Darby Allin defeating Hakushi, Naramichi, Marufuji, and Akira in an entertaining multi-man brawl. And also they had the announcement of Kenji Muda's retirement show, which takes place next month at the Tokyo Dome. It's going to be headlined by a huge double main event.
Grandpa.
Of course. I think he's going to be in the Royal Rumble. That's my prediction for the Royal Rumble.
What? Oh my God, that would be so cool if he does that.
I would love it.
I would mark the hell out. Oh my God. What?
It's going to be headlined by not Bun Bun the Monkey, as my daughter says. It's going to be headlined by Kazuka Okada, the top champion of New Japan Pro Wrestling, versus Kaito Kiyomiya, the top champion of Noah, and also Kenji Muda's retirement match against Tetsuya Naito. Your tummy? Impact on AXS TV is the last thing we missed this week. The show featured Rich Swann defeating Callahan, Moose, Eddie Edwards, and Chris Sabin and Rhino in the Golden Six Shooter to move on to face Josh Alexander for the Impact World Championship at No Surrender next month. And we got one of the funniest segments of the year so far, as after the major players lost to the Bullet Club's Ace Austin and Chris Bay, Impact Digital Media champion Joe Hendry introduced his new music video entitled Edges Bitch about Matt Cardona and Brian Myers. This one you have to see.
Look at this.
Please.
What is the what?
Edges Bitch number 1, Edges Bitch number 2. Kenny, I know you saw it. I know you are cool with Joe Hendry. What did you think about this segment? I loved it.
I don't want to peel back.
First of all, they have blonde hair. Oh my God. Wow. Like, those are the Banger Bros right there.
I mean, they look like they've been on the Banger Bros website at one point, but that's another story. What I will, I mean, yeah, I can tell it. So Joe Hendry actually borrowed some of my Hasbros to make that video. So
are you serious?
He has got my 2 Demolition with GIMP hats on, and he's got my Akeem and Giant Gonzalez. We were literally in my house going, right, what would be the best Hasbros to use? I was like, use GIMP Demolition, they'd be good.
Wow.
Yeah, but it's and he never runs out of ideas. He's so good at these, and like, I mean, I have for the last 3 months of my life, like, I'll be walking around my day, and I'll just in my mind be like, I believe in Joe Hendry every day. I can't get it out of my mind. So I'm very happy to see him doing so well. So
yes, I actually got the opportunity to interview him a couple of weeks back, and I was like, yeah. He was like, yeah. I was like, I should have recognized the name, but I know you.
You would have thought right now you would have recognized him. Yeah, the thing that's really funny about Joe is that well, if you get Joe not on camera, is he's always one step away from telling you like the best story, and then he'll go, I probably shouldn't tell you that. I'm not going to tell that one. But it's like if you can pry it out of him, that's the.
Then he'll tell you the story.
Yeah.
Got it. Well noted. Okay.
Great stuff. But that brings us to Krssi Luv's favorite segment of the show, Match of the Week. This is where we give our gold medal, silver medal, and bronze medal to the best 3 matches of the week. I will start things off. I want to say an honorable mention for that Sami and Jey Uso versus the Judgment Day match on Raw 30. Love that matchup. Just missed out the cut for me. Darby Allin versus Buddy Matthews from Dynamite as well. Just missed out on the cut for me. But coming in for the bronze medal, I got to give it to Jamie Hayter versus Emi Sakura from AEW Rampage last night. That's my bronze medal. Silver medal, I got to go with Shingo Takagi versus Nakajima from Wrestle Kingdom 17 in Yokohama. That was a hard-hitting as hell match. Great storytelling as well. And the gold medal, just because it hit me in the feels, Mark Briscoe versus Jay Lethal from AEW Dynamite. Krssi Luv, what's your 3?
Bronze is going to go to Imperium and Del Fantasmo's twin brothers. Then I'm going to give it to silver to Jamie and Emma. What's that? Emmy, yes. And then my gold is, of course, Jay Lethal and for the Go Home on Dynamite. Great show. I mean, great match. You cannot not give it to them.
Kenny, what's your 3?
So my 3, also, like the lovely Krssi, my bronze goes to Imperium against the Prophets and Seth. I thought it was really, really good fun. Loved that match.
Great,
Yeah, really good. Because like it was just like it was on Raw 30. There was all the kind of like, you know, nostalgia and the storyline stuff, and then you just had a really good wrestling match. There in the middle. My silver is actually going to go to that Usos and Judgment Day match on Raw. And it's mainly the Sami Zayn portion, which was so good that I'm like shoehorning it in. I'm bringing the Bloodline story into the match of the week because it's so good. I love that. And then the gold has to go to Mark Briscoe and Jay Lethal. If you give any other match this week the gold medal, you are evil, you are wrong,
Yep.
you should be cancelled.
Facts.
This is facts from Kenny Macintosh. Write it down. But that brings us to our final segment for the show, which is the Royal Rumble tonight, Royal Rumble 2023. It's only a 5-match card, so we can get through this pretty swiftly. So it's tonight on the Peacock Network, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. What is it? 1 a.m. for you, Kenny, or 2 a.m.?
No, it's 1 a.m. No. I think do these ones start at midnight? I think what time does it start Eastern time today?
8 p.m. Eastern.
It's 1 a.m.
Okay.
Damn,
so
I don't know how you see. It was hard, really, really hard getting up to watch New Japan. I credit to you guys because you have to do it very, very often. Shout out to you. Oh man, like
I'll level with you, Krssi. I do not do it often. I watch Raw and SmackDown in the mornings now. I'm too old to be dealing. It's my birthday tomorrow, and I turn 38 years old.
Happy
birthday!
Woo-hoo!
Thank you very much.
Happy birthday to
Technically,
you.
it would be your birthday when you're watching it, so we have to like.
Yeah, it would technically be my birthday when it's on.
Yeah,
so my birthday is always on Rumble weekends. So it's a good time to have it.
Nice.
But yeah, we always have people over, and so what we do is we also have a tombola. So you put money into a tin, you get a number, so like everybody gets 3 numbers or whatever, depending on how many people there are. And if your number wins, you get the money. So it's like
like bingo.
Yes.
Cool.
Like you can win like $50 or something.
We're doing something similar with everybody on screen tonight for the watch along and our Patreon backers. They're gonna pick a number and the winning number. If you're a Patreon backer, you're gonna get a Tru Heel Heat shirt. If you're on the screen, part of our team, you get something a little bit extra special. But we'll get to that.
The other thing is the thing about doing the tombola. The reason it's so good is if everybody has numbers, right? It means that every single person who's coming out, you're on edge. Like you're.
Yes.
Like, do you know who I got twice in a fucking row? Xia Li. I hate her. I just hate her because it was like. But then if you get someone who's like a dark horse pick, like say like if you get like Charlotte Flair or something in a Rumble, you're like, well, I've got a decent chance. Like they might get it first. So then you get the drama of like you want your friend to fail. It's very cool.
You want your friend to fail, so you're on the edge of your seat watching it, just watching it every single time.
That's how I like to enjoy my sports. Good old fashioned chaos.
Absolutely.
What's my point? Yeah, but the Rumble is one that's very easy to stay up and watch live. But yeah, the weekly show is no chance.
No chance.
I used to stay up and watch Dynamite when they told good stories.
He's like, it's been a little bit over a year since the CM Punk MJF rivalry ended.
Cody Khan bought Ring of Honor, and I stopped watching until 3 in the morning.
I've been saying it for months. I was like that when he bought Ring of Honor. That's when the downturn of the quality of Dynamite went down a peg. But let's
one last thing. Do you remember that fucking week, right, where if you're someone who doesn't watch New Japan, right, which is I guess if you watch AEW, a lot of people watch New Japan, but the way they introduced Okada was he just came out in like cargo pants and a t-shirt as if he was fucking somebody who worked at Google, and just there was nothing. It's like you couldn't do a video package on this guy, and like because I'm sure there was something where like one year he was part of a parade in Japan where there was like thousands of people. Like, show the footage.
They should. All they needed to do is show the picture of Okada when they wrestled in outside and it was raining and he did the Rainmaker pose. Just show that picture that he opened up the heavens for rain to come down because he's the Rainmaker.
Do you know my favorite ever? I'll let you finish SP3, but my last thing. Dave Meltzer, one of my favorite lines he ever had. It was the year that WrestleMania was in New Jersey, Rock and Cena 2. 2013, and on the pre-show, The Miz beat Wade Barrett for the Intercontinental title. And on Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer said, because it was raining in the stadium at the time, and Dave Meltzer said it wasn't rain, it was God crying because The Miz won the Intercontinental title.
That was my first ever WrestleMania, actually, Kenny. So yes, I was like, oh God, this is bad. I just went into the bathroom to get dry. But anyway, let's start with the women's Royal Rumble matchup, because they haven't done much to build this up at all. But the women's Royal Rumble matchup currently confirmed to be in the match is Liv Morgan, Candice LeRae, Rhea Ripley, Raquel Rodriguez, Shayna Baszler, Zelina Vega, Emma, Bailey, Dakota Kai, Io Sky, Lacey Evans, and Xia Li. So they have 18 spots to be announced. Of course, you can expect like someone like Mia Yim, Becky Lynch.
Yes,
they'll be involved in this one. But who do you think takes the win in this one? We'll start with the ladies first. Ms Krissi Luv, who you got in the Women's Royal Rumble?
I'm wearing her shirt today. I'm repping Rhea Ripley. I think Rhea can do it this time. I think she, out of the women that are in the Royal Rumble, she's the only one that makes sense.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Rhea Ripley. The only like small chance that it's somebody else is if somehow they've made a deal with Mercedes.
Right.
That's like the one other option.
I've been hearing people more this week saying Naomi for a return and maybe possibly winning the Rumble because SmackDown needs a challenger for Charlotte desperately.
I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad at that idea. I would love to see that happen. They've been very quiet. Like she hasn't said anything. She hasn't really posted much. She's only posted like certain things, like from like this fashion stuff that she did. But other than that, it's like it's been very, very like quiet. So it would be a great pop if they were able to like bring her back. That's when I would change my answer.
I'm going with Rhea Ripley because if you put that graphic up for the Women's Royal Rumble match, I've never seen a graphic more Gladys Knight and the Pimps than Rhea Ripley and everybody else on this because they don't care about anyone else but maybe Raquel Rodriguez. She might have a good showing in this because it's in Texas, but Rhea Ripley is the odds-on favorite to win.
I was going to say depressing for the picture, but go ahead. That's fine too.
Gladys Knight and the Pimps. Let's talk about the match that I am dreading is going to happen. The Mountain Dew Pitch Black matchup as Bray Wyatt will go one-on-one with LA Knight. This feud started all the way back in November between these two men, with Bray getting slapped by LA Knight being attacked backstage by Uncle Howdy or Bray, we don't know. Uncle Howdy coming out and laying out Bray right in front of LA Knight, and then the challenge was made for the Pitch Black match. Last night on SmackDown, we had LA Knight come out to Broken Out of Love, which was great, with him coming out as the cult leader, Bray Wyatt, with the littlest the smallest lantern ever. Who do you think
such a troll? That's such good shit, yeah. Oh,
Kenny,
man.
who do you got in this one, Wyatt or Knight?
It's got to be Bray Wyatt, right? It's his first match back on TV. I think it's gonna be Bray Wyatt's night. But just hopefully at the end of this, we're all talking about it as if it's a success, and we're not talking about it as if it's The Fiend and Randy Orton from WrestleMania 37.
That's what I'm feeling. I feel like it's kind of like that. Ooh.
Yeah, I do think Alexa Bliss will get involved though. Regardless, I think
I can see that.
Not Uncle Howdy.
I can see. I see Uncle Howdy getting involved. I'm gonna go out on a limb and I'm gonna say Uncle Howdy costs Bray Wyatt this match and LA Knight wins because it's Bray Wyatt. I'm convinced WWE don't know how to book Bray Wyatt. Don't matter if Triple H is behind the pen or Vince. I don't think they know how to book him, and I think LA Knight wins.
I wouldn't know how to book him. How do you book him? Like, what's the
maybe Bray is the one that said I should lose to this stuff. Then
maybe
could be a possibility. I don't know.
It's quite possible. Who do you think wins, Krssi?
I would hope it's Bray, but my expectations are not very high, so I don't know. But I'm gonna go Bray.
Got Vala B trolling Kenny in the chat saying Kelly wins the Women's Royal Rumble.
You know what, Vala B? You're on timeout, okay? Timeout. Just like we put Frantic on timeout, you're on timeout, okay? Thanks.
So you were better than that, Vala B. You're worth so much more than that message.
Yeah.
I know you're trying to get me to rant about Kelly, and I will not rant about how she is one of the worst fucking wrestlers that's ever existed on planet Earth.
Now you got to send a super chat donation for us to highlight another comment, Valaby. Anyway, Raw Women's Championship is going to be up for grabs. The aforementioned Alexa
the Bella
Bliss.
Twins? That's not one of the worst ones, but sorry.
No, the Bella Twins. I like the Bella Twins. Don't you dare.
The Raw spot for the Bella Twins. Well, Nikki.
Yes.
Right, one of them, not both. One.
The Raw Women's
this
Championship
is a
will
great
be up for
graphic of
grabs
them, too.
as Alexa Bliss will challenge Bianca Belair. I think this is obvious. Bianca Belair wins. What do you think, Krssi?
I mean, duh.
Bianca wins. LOL.
Next match. Thanks.
Kenny, you agree?
Yeah, Krissi's right. Can I just say, this isn't relevant, but fuck it, because it's an obvious match. I interviewed Bray Wyatt. I did not interview Bray Wyatt. I interviewed Bianca Belair last year, and I've never in my life had a woman smell as good as Bianca Belair did. Like, just from sitting, like, just interviewing her, it was like, she just radiates. Like, she's so attractive.
They that cocoa butter and perfume, yo, it's the greatest mixture in the world.
Her and Montez were on Watch What Happens Live last week, and I mean, she killed it out of the park. For Andy Cohen, who knows nothing about wrestling,
was it good?
So good. If you have Peacock, watch it, because you can watch their episodes. I mean, they delivered beyond delivered. It was so good. Yes. Didn't mean to plug that, but sorry.
We got the match that I think should main event this show, but we'll talk about it now. For the undisputed WWE Universal Championship, Kevin Owens will challenge the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns. This will be the third matchup between these two men at the Royal Rumble. Kevin Owens defeating Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship back at 2017 in San Antonio.
Why
then
these guys are so tanned and bronzed. Like, what is happening on this graphic?
2021, Roman Reigns beat Kevin Owens despite not getting up and being handcuffed to a pole, and he should have lost. And now we have the third part with it's more personal now. Sami Zayn in the middle of this drama. What do you think happens in this finish, and who do you think wins? Kenny?
I mean, I think this is actually the most obvious result of the night. This is even more obvious than Bianca and Alexa Bliss. Like, Roman Reigns is going to win. It's just how he's going to win. Does he win with Sami Zayn? Does he win without Sami Zayn? Like, that's the drama. But yeah, I mean, I think this is going to be a killer match, though. These guys have wrestled at Royal Rumbles twice before. I loved the first one in San Antonio when Chris Jericho was in the cage.
Yes.
The Thunderdome one was decent, but yeah, I think this is going to be like chef's kiss. This is going to be the one.
This is going to be the third, the whole trilogy of the three of the three matches.
Yeah, and I think this will be the best one they've done. So,
because the best storyline so far too.
Yeah. It's like it's and wait a minute, isn't the first time they faced off at Royal Rumble in the Alamo as well?
Yep.
Same building.
Yep. So this is the closeout in Texas.
Yep. Very full circle there.
Right, bringing yeah.
What do you think happens in the finish, Ms Krissi Luv?
Sammy chair shot to Kenny behind the ref's back. I don't know.
Kenny all the way in where he in Europe?
I mean, sorry, Kevin.
You don't even know I'm in Scotland, in Europe. SP3 all the way in North America.
Absolutely.
Kevin, not Kenny. Sorry, Kenny. Sakeo. Yeah, somehow Sammy does something that will like prove his like loyalty to the dynasty of the tribal chief. I don't know, like something crazy.
I think it's Sam. I think it's Kevin and Roman in a corner. The referee has already been bumped, referee bump, and Sammy comes out. He's in the other corner, and he's got to Aluva kick someone. Both guys are in the corner, and he goes to Aluva kick Kevin, and Kevin pulls Roman into the Aluva kick. But somehow, some way, Solo Sikoa and the Usos come out and make the save, and Roman still wins. Okay. But that's the big spot for Sami Zayn there.
I don't think we get for me. I don't think we get the turn tonight of the bloodline on Sami. I think that we get like whether it's like Sami helps Roman win, but like there's hesitation or something, or even if Sami wins. I think whatever happens, the breakup will be like on SmackDown next week or something. I think they're not gonna give you all of it tonight. But your way, I love the sound of that. Because then if Sami did, end up accidentally haluva kicking Roman Reigns and Solo helps, then on SmackDown, you've got the reason as to why the bloodline lay him out. So
exactly.
Yeah.
I think people keep telling me I need the pen. WWE, call me up. You already.
If only you knew someone who was maybe in.
If only I knew someone. We did have a conversation earlier today about that. But anyway, we got the big match of the show, the men's Royal Rumble matchup, and they have 19 confirmed entrants into the match. Kofi Kingston, Santos Escobar, Ricochet, Baron Corbin, Austin Theory, Seth Rollins, Bobby Lashley, Rey Mysterio, Gunther, Omos, Drew McIntyre, Sheamus, Braun Strowman, Karrion Kross, Dominic Mysterio, Xavier Woods, The Miz, Brock Lesnar, and of course, Cody Rhodes. Is it the most telegraphed winner of the Royal Rumble probably ever in Cody?
Yes.
Or do we have a surprise entrant come in here and win? What do you think, Ms. Krissi Luv?
It has to be Cody for them, given the 1,000,001 replays of him coming back, having his shoulder surgery. Blah. I'm surprised they didn't show Baby Liberty. Like, Jesus freaking Christ.
So you think it's Cody?
Yeah, if it's not a surprise person, it's gonna be him. It's
he's sold out. He's the top merch seller of the weekend at the Royal Rumble Superstore. So
is he?
Yeah.
They have that god awful skull on it.
They reported that adrenaline in the soul.
How do you feel? I just want to gaslight Krssi here. How do you feel about his neck tattoo?
I hate it. I want it gone. Like, of all
I would never have guessed.
I was talking to someone about it yesterday. I was watching. I was at a bar watching SmackDown, and we was like, "Don't you hate the freaking skull?" I was like, "First of all, it's not even a good. It's not even a good tattoo. Blame the person that made. Like, this is your logo, and you put it square, like, right of all places. You might as well have put it on your face. Like, be like freaking Mike Tyson. Put it like right here. You couldn't have put it on your shoulder or your back. You just had to put it like right on your freaking, like, we have to look at that god awful poor Liberty. She doesn't give her nightmares. Oh God. Oh.
Like, what's that on Daddy's neck? I can imagine her when she turns like 2 or 3.
Bad life choice. That's what's on that.
It is really a bad. It's so
Cody,
bad.
who you got? Do you think Cody wins this one?
I think it's Cody. I think it's Cody that wins it. But I am going to give. So here's my complete dream scenario. Right, I'm just going to do it. I think that I would love to see. Well, no, Krissi's going to hate me for this, but I would love to see somehow Brock Lesnar eliminates Bobby Lashley. I apologize in advance, but he eliminates him,
Kenny.
right? But then the countdown clock starts, and it's Steve Austin, and Austin comes out to eliminate Brock Lesnar because Brock was going to tie his record of winning 3 Rumbles, and there's your WrestleMania match. It won't happen because why would Steve Austin ever want to take German suplexes from Brock Lesnar? But at the same time, just a pie in the sky prediction.
Cody's gonna
Romeo does really not like the idea. No. Did he not say earlier that Rhea and Cody are too obvious and there's going to be a swerve? Romeo, put in the chat who's going to win the men and women's Royal Rumble.
We did our preview earlier this week, and Romeo thinks Stone Cold Steve Austin is going to win his 4th Royal Rumble to verse Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. That's
really?
I want to pass over the dibby here, Romeo. Let's all share in the ganja of that.
I'll join you, Kenny.
I am going to be the different one here. I am not going to go for Cody Rhodes. I am going for it. I don't believe a word this man says. He's been working since he came out the womb. Watch Young Rock every single week. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson will be the winner of the 2023 Men's Royal Rumble. Rock versus Roman happens WrestleMania 39. You heard it here first, folks. It's gonna happen.
I can't wait for him to make history.
History. From 2000 to 2023.
So what you're saying is,
years.
So what you're saying is they kept Cody and they played that footage for like 15 million times just so that The Rock could win. That's what you're saying. With every,
Yep.
you put that on Harlem and
Yep.
Sydney. Got it.
I think Cody's gonna choke. It's not because of my personal vendetta against Cody. Cody's gonna choke.
Your personal, now you have a personal vendetta.
I mean, if you watch Tru Heel Heat, you know I have a personal vendetta against Cody.
that's what I'm saying.
He flipped me off in 2017, and I'll never forget it. But The Rock, the Royal Rumble winner, I am calling it here now. We got a super chat donation from the good fella Follow B. I pressured him into it.
That's probably like $2.
I know it's 40 Ruby is $2. He says Cody or Rumble 94 double finish, Cody and Sami.
I mean, you may as well just fucking turn Cody heel now if you want to do that finish. I mean,
Yes, yeah. He would be the Lex Luger in this scenario when they raise the hands and the crowd goes wild for Sami and there's boo, Cody, get him out of here. He didn't save racism. I still don't like it. Thank you so much to Kenny Macintosh for joining us today. This is a long time coming having you on the show.
Thank you for having me.
But before you give your final plugs, it's time for your fuck, marry, kill.
Ooh.
This one is specific. Well, it's for both of you, but Krssi did inspire me. I have to say, you've inspired me with this one. So, I don't know if you know this, but I really like a detailed reason for each pick, please, not just a pick the person. Your three are current day Hulk Hogan, Jimmy Hart, and Vince McMahon.
The fuck? Oh, come on.
Oh shit!
And I just want to say you brought all of this on yourself, Krssi. Every single bit of it.
You gave him too much information.
You gave me
God, I can't.
You let me infiltrate your ether, and now I have to give you this fuck, marry, kill.
Okay.
They're all over 70, so none of them are going to go too long. So
Okay, I'd marry Jimmy Hart.
Why?
Why?
The lesser of the three evils.
He would hype you up too.
He would be a great hype man. He probably would make my clothes too, or my hair.
That is true.
We would have great beauty stories around the fireplace. Be great. He would be great. That's good. So he'd probably be a great house husband. Because he's retired, so he could just cook for me when I come home from work, and they'll watch the kids. That'd be great. Okay, so that's easy.
Let's get to the good stuff.
The good stuff. Okay. Ooh.
Who you fucking?
Vince or Terrence?
The racist or the sexual predator?
You know the answer. Come on.
Yes,
you want to fuck Terrence because you get that hate fuck. Hate fuck is a different level.
I'd probably fuck the shit out of him too. That's the problem too. That's the fucking.
Just make sure he's had a burrito beforehand.
Shit.
Like if I finish and move on him would be great, son. Like you don't understand that.
You don't want to fuck Hogan. He's got a bad hip.
That's the easy one. Like Kenny said, it'd be over in like 2 seconds. It's done. Finish him like in Mortal Kombat.
So and you're killing Vince.
There we go.
SP3, same for you.
Oh, the same one?
Yeah.
All right.
No. I'll give you a different one then if you want.
Yeah, give him no. You have to.
I'll get it. I'll take a different one.
Okay, here we go. Paul Heyman, Cody Rhodes, and Tony Khan.
Damn.
Wow. This is easy. That's an easy one. Come on.
Not for him. He wants to do Tony Khan parties. He can't kill him.
Yeah, I can't kill Tony. Shit. I would marry Paul Heyman because he would hype me up, He'd be like
private jets.
Exactly. Get on the private jets, hang out with the tribal chief and the bloodline. Shoot, man, I'll be good money. I would fuck Tony because he's on that cocaine. He probably got a lot of energy, and we be banging it out for a couple of hours. I've seen him at parties as well. That boy goes wild. He goes hard in the paint. And I would kill Cody. Obviously, I would kill Cody. There you go. There you go. You guys asked for it. Fuck, Mary, kill, Tru Heel Heat style. Kenny,
I feel like this
thank
should be
you.
a part of our show every week now. This is like
You may have given us a new segment.
yeah.
I
I thought Kenny was gonna put in Brock Lesnar. I was about to say, oh fuck, here we go. Great.
Oh, you would if I was ever getting fucked by Brock Lesnar, I'd be like, do an F5 first. F5 me. Like, you want the F5.
Can we bring Sable too? Like,
no,
he's been in hiding since night. She's like David Miscavige's wife. You just don't see her anymore.
He gonna F5 you on the dick. Kenny, please let the people know where they can follow you on social media. All the great stuff you got going on inside the ropes. Thank you so much. Go ahead, brother.
If you, Kenny from Europe. Yeah, thank you. That's what all I fucking am. Kenny from Europe. You can buy our magazine. We have a magazine, Inside the Ropes magazine, InsideTheRopesMagazine.com. It's in like some Barnes and Noble stores in the US. Why do I not know what we have now? We have a website, itrwrestling.com. We do news. We have a YouTube channel, 2 YouTube channels actually. We have a YouTube channel, our main one, Inside the Ropes, where we do interviews and have clips from live shows. And we've got a clips channel where we do some streams and stuff of pay-per-views and clips from some of our longer interviews. And we have a Patreon, patreon.com/Inside the Ropes. And if you have a spare dollar after you've donated your money to Tru Heel Heat, obviously, go and donate $1 or $2 to the Jammin' Pew family, the Pew family, because those kids are going through stuff that nobody should have to go through. So there you go. I'm making a nice thing at the end, and also Booker of the Year, my fucking arse.
Kenny Macintosh, Booker of the Year. He booked that fuck, marry, kill. He booked the shit out of it. Go ahead.
He did.
Go ahead.
He really did, though.
Ms Krissi Luv, let the
I didn't see it coming. I didn't see it coming at all.
People know where they can follow you.
This was a fun show. Follow me every Thursday. Thursday. Jesus fucking Christ. Every Saturday. We are here on Tru Heel Heat, 11:05 a.m. Tru Heel Heat. You can follow me on IG, Twitter, Facebook, Krssi Luv _1, 7 Face and Hill. We'll be back probably next week. Next Sunday, because tomorrow we're doing our roundtable. So my tag team partner, which is Stephanie Hypes. So yes, follow me there. Twitter is Tru Heel Krssi Luv. So that's where I am.
And join us all tonight for the Royal Rumble watch-along. Romeo will be there. You guys could take part in our lottery where you pick a number and you can become the winner and be a part of our giveaway of our Tru Heel Heat t-shirt for the Royal Rumble watch-along. So join us for that. You can follow me on the Twitter machine at Tru Heel SP3. Follow the gang, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Tru Heel Heat. Tomorrow, we also got Tru Heel Heat Sports, our watch-alongs for the NFL playoffs. Patreon.com/Tru Heel Heat, $3 a month. Be a part of our prediction championship where you can predict the Royal Rumble tonight. Check out our preview of the Royal Rumble that was up earlier this week with me and Romeo. And then join us live tomorrow, 11:05 a.m. Eastern Time, for our Royal Rumble 2023 Roundtable Review. Thank you so much to the return of the Kenny Macintosh of Inside the Ropes, Kenny from Europe. Thank you so much, Ms Krissi Luv. It is me. You're truly SP3. This has been Tru Heel Heat 210, old school.
Oh my God, look at the tattoo right there.
Rumble.
You can't even get rid of it. Oh my God, look at this. Staring me dead in my face.
We are signing off until next time.